Going out of town anytime soon? Well, I know you have a daughter. You don't have a whole lot of time. But if you out there have any vacations planned for this summer, whether it's a bucket list trip to Europe or a road trip to Yosemite National Park, traveling can be a bit easier in the digital age if you're heading out of town. Ryan Eldridge, co-founder of Nerds on Call, is here. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, so we want to talk about some of the apps that can help you in your vacation. And first of all, the planning. That's the hardest part, right?
Yeah, planning's hard. I mean, in the old days, you'd have things like email reservation or reservations in your email, confirmations, plane tickets, all kinds of stuff, and you got to access it all differently. Well, one of the cool apps out there is called Tripit. And what you do is you email all of those confirmations and reservations to plans@tripit.com. And what it'll do is create a master itinerary for you so you know exactly what you're doing, when and where you're going. You can share it with friends and family on social media. You can share it through email. And so that way they can kind of know where you're going and where you're going to be, especially if you're on that grand trip all over Europe.
Okay, and that kind of helps to eliminate the paper trail too, because you have a lot of things probably that you'll have to list and jot down on your planning.
Yeah, and for $49 a year, if you travel a lot, it'll keep track of like your rewards points on air flights.
Oh, okay.
It'll also tell you up to the minute where your flight is, whether there's better seats open and available, like that coveted emergency row. If that becomes available, it'll tell you, and you can switch seats to the airline. So it's kind of cool.
One thing I really love to do when I go to a place, especially that I'm not familiar with, is ask the locals. Where am I supposed to go? What are the things that the tourists maybe wouldn't know about?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, if you're looking for like a hotel, use a website called TripAdvisor, TripAdvisor.com, and these are all reviews that are written by regular folks.
Okay.
The nice thing about this is it tells you exactly whether it's a nice place to stay. You get the 4-star reviews, and because it's written by regular folks, you get in plain language, and you know that those reviews generally aren't paid for.
Yep.
But be advised that sometimes there are some unsavory hotels that may write fake reviews, so always have a word of caution when you're looking at those reviews. Make sure they're not too glowing over and over and over again.
And can some of those companies also pay to get the bad reviews taken down? I've heard that that's a thing.
Yeah, well, usually they just flood it with a lot of good ones, but
okay.
yeah, they can if a bad review comes in, they can say, oh, that wasn't factual, and they can kind of fight it. But
okay,
yeah.
Okay. How do we find out about the restaurants, the places to go, the things to do?
So in the old days, we'd have like a tourist book, and then we'd go, oh, look at this, there's a hidden gem, let's go check that out. And then you get there, and there's like a 4-hour wait, or reservations were booked for months and months in advance, or that hidden beach you thought in Hawaii that you're going to.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I can't wait to get there, and then there's just a flood of people there.
Right.
So now you can use the web to find little hidden gems. So the first thing that I like to use for restaurants is called Yelp. You can get a little app on your phone. And the great thing is it's, again, by users, so you can see what the locals are eating. There's little tips on there, so they can say things like, oh, try the carnitas, but skip the guacamole. And you get photos of the dining experience. You can see what the food looks like before you get there. And you can't go wrong if you've got a 4-star restaurant with hundreds of reviews.
Right.
And all the hidden gems are by the locals, and so that way you know which ones are good and which ones aren't.
Also, Yelp often will offer discounts. A lot of these companies will get on and say, hey, if you check in on Yelp, we'll give you free fries or a free beverage.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, discounts all over the place. That's great. So here's another great one. So we were in San Francisco, and I don't know San Francisco all that well, and we had to use public transportation. So we used Google Maps. And this is an app we use almost all the time when we're just traveling around town, but you can use it for public transportation, or when we were in Chinatown, we got a little lost, and we just clicked over and had it give us walking directions back to our hotel.
Oh, okay.
And so it does public transportation, walking as well as driving. And on the public transportation, in the estimated time of arrival, it puts in the times that you're also going to be waiting for the bus or the train, and so you know when you're going to get places.
You really know how long it'll take you. Also, the bike feature on Google Maps is great. Okay, and we're running out of time real quickly. Translator.
Okay, so the last thing is Google Translate. This is a great little app. So let's say you're in Europe and you're traveling around and you read that French menu and you have no idea if you're going to get the mussels or the beef tongue or whatever.
It says.
You can use your phone to take a picture of the menu. It'll give you real-life translation of everything that's on there. Plus, if you're speaking to somebody and they're speaking French and you're speaking English, it'll translate in real time everything they're saying to you and everything they're saying back to you.
And is it pretty accurate?
It's very accurate.
Okay.
It's got up to 90 languages, and the one with the picture, there's only certain languages, so like Russian, Portuguese, French, Italian, German, to English, and that's the only way it goes.
All right, Ryan Eldridge, Nerds on Call. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.